Hey, 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 everybody. So excited. Today is the virtual webinar for Shopify Meetup Philippines. Welcome, welcome, welcome all. My name is Nerissa Chaux, and I am the co-founder of Filta. We help e-commerce businesses build high-performance digital and development teams in Australia, US, offshoring and outsourcing in the Philippines. We are also the proud exclusive Shopify Philippines Meetup partner, and we want to welcome you to the very first Shopify virtual meetup. Now, I know Filipinos are the most humble people on earth, so let me brag for you. The Philippines also holds the record for the world's largest Shopify meetup. So today, not only do we have amazing speakers, we have offers, giveaways, competitions, right till the last second of this webinar. So if you don't want to miss out, you have to stay till the end. And trust me, you will not want to leave your couch. Now, I want to give out a shout out to some of my faithful Shopify Manila peeps, Erica, Vincent, Marlo, Jeremiah, Tony, and our biggest supporter, Namra. Woo! We also have some VIPs joining us, the Yaps. I hope you've worked out how to get on the webinar. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for honoring us today. So let's do a poll. Hand on heart, are you wearing PJs right now? So what do we got? Never? 100% yes. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Sorry, I'm so excited. Okay, so before we start, I am going to kick off with some giveaways. Are you keen? All right. The first person to tell me where you're joining us from wins this gorgeous Filta t-shirt. So let's see. In chat. You can win this t-shirt if you tell me where you're from. And the first person, which one is it? Mika, you are the winner, my friend. You've won this gorgeous t-shirt. Please send an email to denny@filterglobal.com and you will get this t-shirt in the mail. Don't worry, it'll be on the chat. All right. Do you guys think we should do another competition? I can't read it. Yep, I think we do. All right, for a Shopify PayMaya card, the first person to tell me in the chat room the name of their Shopify store wins a PayMaya card. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I can't see. Woo! Who we got? Anyone tell me the winner?
Yep.
First person.
Yeah, Debbie Reyes.
Debbie Reyes. Debbie Reyes, high five to you. You've just won yourself a PayMaya card. And because I'm feeling very generous today, guys, I'm going to do one more. Just one more before we kick off to the presenters. All right, so to win a Filter t-shirt, and they are fabulous, they feel beautiful, tell me where my accent is from. The first person to tell me where my accent is from wins this very comfortable Filter t-shirt. Okay, let's see, let's see. Who have we got? Who have we got? Love the hat. Thank you, Ibrahim. Dennis Orchino, you have won. You are right. I have a very Australian accent. Some would say broken accent, but I like to say I'm from Queensland. I'm from sunny Queensland, happy to have the accent. So let's get started. Let me introduce you to our first speaker, Matt from MindArc Digital Agency, one of my favorite people in Australia. So let me get him on right now for you.
Hello.
Hello. Hang on. Let me take this over. Welcome, Matt. The floor is yours.
To match the theme. All right. Great. It's good to see so many people joining the session today, and hopefully there'll be a lot of useful information that'll come out of it for you. But what I might do is just jump straight into the slides. All right. Hopefully everyone can see that. Okay, cool. So so I guess I'll just introduce a few ideas about Shopify Plus and Shopify in general, and we can talk about what that's about, and then I'll quickly introduce a bit about MindArc first. So if we jump into the next slide, this is just a quick mention. Last year we were really proud to be the #1 Shopify Plus partner Asia Pacific for the net new deals. So that basically means we helped together with Shopify work to onboard the most merchants in Asia Pacific that year, which was really, really exciting for us. So that was a great experience. And just a bit about MindArc as an agency. There's a team based in 3 different locations. We have an office in Manila, obviously one here in Sydney, and also a small team in Vietnam. But there's 3 main divisions in the company. So there's the digital side of things where we do design and development for obviously Shopify stores, integrations, and custom apps. And then we do digital marketing as well in terms of the search and content and local search as well. And then we also have a telecommunications division as well that does like hardware and devices and internet connections and whatnot. So yeah, that's a bit about us. It was started by myself and my business partner, Sean Perez, back about 10 years ago. So still going strong. All right, so one of the greatest things, or one of the statements that I know is synonymous with Shopify is that they really believe that technology shouldn't hold you back. And I really like that idea. As an agency, we've worked with different technologies over the years, and we do find that this experience is definitely what you get when you work with Shopify. So I'll dive in a bit more detail about that. So, I guess the biggest or main concept that they really want to promote is a few key things. So how do you grow bigger? How do you grow faster? Sell to where your customers want to buy. And so it's more about partnerships and not really that vendor relationship idea. So they really do want everyone in the ecosystem to work together in a partnership style, which you really feel when you work with the guys there at Shopify, and it's a great platform and run by great people. And then the idea of stop worrying is really interesting, and potentially my video is blocking it a bit, but it's really good to not have that kind of in the back of your mind, that anxiety about, is my infrastructure for my website going to keep it going if I get too many sales or get too many customers on the site at the same time? And there's a lot of peace of mind elements about working with a SaaS platform like Shopify. A few other key concepts that are really about Shopify Plus, globalization and multi-channel are really big ideas on the platform. Making sure that you have that global reach, obviously cross-device, social, access to marketplaces that are really key for your region or your product. There's definitely solutions out there for a whole range of different things. Automation is a really great part, particularly of Shopify Plus with Shopify Flow, and I'll talk a bit about that later. Things like Launchpad as well, and being even though I think there's that misconception that Shopify has limited customization, but you can really do quite a lot with Shopify, and they do expose a few things to allow you to do that as well, working together with your agency partners or your own developers. And then from a services and partner support network side of things, they have a really good merchant success program, particularly in the Plus area, and that really helps the one-to-one relationship with Shopify between you and potentially your business. And that's really great support. And their general support is amazing as well. So definitely all around good customer focus there. And then I guess reiterating the whole scalable, reliable concept that was mentioned in the last slide, really just trusting that Shopify will take care of the infrastructure side of things and you don't have to worry about it. All right. I guess the concept, again, is it's built to handle more of everything. So, obviously your online store, allowing you to sell globally because obviously on the web, managing pop-up stores, how do you manage flash sales on your site, getting access to having a multi-channel selling approach, a whole bunch of different things. Wholesale, if that's a big part of your business, that it does have an aspect of that will manage that for you. Obviously managing campaigns and focusing on that marketing side of things. And I think that's where it comes from an angle where, they want to focus on your growth. So you don't have to, like, a lot of the time you worry a lot about the website and keeping it updated and making sure it's working. And Shopify want to alleviate those types of pressures and allow you to focus on your campaigns and your growth, which is really good. Some of the brands that you might know from around the world that are on Shopify Plus particularly, obviously you can see there's probably a few that you've recognized before or have seen before. It's definitely picking up like its reputation and gaining momentum in many brands across the world, across different industries as well. It's not just apparel that, obviously you can see brands here that do other things, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting platform to consider. Okay. All right, just some interesting stats, and good to know some stats here and there, but there's over 1 million merchants on Shopify Plus or Shopify, which is amazing. I think that's a huge number, and across the platform, the sales are over 155 billion. So it's definitely a platform that obviously has been tried and tested. Like, there's a lot of volume going through it, and it's really it builds your confidence in terms of choosing it as an option for your business or wanting to try something on it. And yeah, I think these really help in that aspect. Now let's dive into a few of the key Shopify Plus features to give people a better idea of what that is. Now, just to clarify, so there's Shopify, which is obviously accessible to everyone for the various price ranges. And then there's a tier above the 3 main Shopify tiers called Shopify Plus. And that allows you to access what they see, I guess, is more features to enable you at that enterprise level particularly. But yeah, it's not necessarily too big a benchmark to reach to be eligible to use something like that. But I think once I show you the different features that are available, you can kind of see the value in Plus being very useful for your business as you get to that certain stage of growth to help you automate and manage that scale. So Shopify Flow is one of the first ones I'll cover now, which is it's about that automation piece. So how do you simplify tasks and reduce the footprint on your team and your staff so that they don't have to spend so much time doing different tasks over and over again. You can use the Shopify Flow feature to create custom flows in a drag and drop interface. So you can determine what the trigger is or what the initial event is that'll trigger that process to run, and then define what happens after that point. Like, if a customer buys a product, I want to automatically send them some information or an email, or that's just a basic flow, but it can get quite sophisticated once you play around with it. Another cool feature is Launchpad, and this is purely designed to help you launch a campaign. And what's great about it is you can actually track and understand the value of the campaign you ran through this feature. And you automatically understand the event checklist, what you need to do, what you need to spend your time on, schedule any front-end customizations, and that just means a smoother experience for your customers once you launch your campaign. And then you can track that performance in real time, which is really exciting for your team or your business. And seeing that information in real time is always very, very exciting. Okay, and then another feature is obviously wholesale, I mentioned earlier. So if you're selling to other businesses rather than direct to consumer, there's definitely functions that allow you to do that on Shopify Plus as well. And then another cool feature is Shopify Scripts. So this allows you to essentially extend some features, particularly used for things like custom pricing or promotions, custom shipping, or payment options. You can do a few things with this. You just have to, I guess, develop those scripts. And this feature just allows you to inject them into the Shopify platform. the scripts are obviously still run on the Shopify platform, so you don't have to worry about hosting them. So that again alleviates the maintenance headaches, especially during any high traffic sales. You might have flash sales or really, really big sales once a year for your store, or during Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and this is definitely designed to handle that. And then Shopify Payments, which is not sure if it's available yet in the Philippines, but it's definitely a really, really good payment providing feature. So it's essentially your payment gateway, and allows you to offer all the out-of-the-box payment options that Shopify has built into Shopify Pay. So, different things like, I guess, WeChat Pay and whatnot in different regions of the world. This automatically allows you to access those through Shopify Pay rather than doing custom integrations with your gateway to manage all of that. And I think it makes it a lot more seamless as well, because you can do things like settling in different currencies from around the world. Offering to charge different currencies around the world to your customers, but then it's automatically settled back into your local currency. And you don't have to worry about setting up those offshore bank accounts or anything like that to manage that. This makes it much easier to access that and gives a better customer experience for those people buying from those overseas countries. And I guess it's also worth noting that it's well integrated into Shopify because it is their payment system. So there are advantages of using Shopify Pay. And then another really interesting feature, and I guess I feel like this is coming up in more conversations at the moment due to obviously lockdowns and restrictions because of COVID. Augmented reality gives you a completely new perspective on how you can see and preview a product without actually going to the store. So, and we've seen Shopify sites that do it with like bicycles or homewares, home products, which is really, really cool. You can see, if you want to buy a vase for your table, you can see the vase in augmented reality on the table that you have at home before actually buying it. And I think that gives a really cool buying experience for the customer, particularly that they can't physically go see it, for some people around the world in some areas that don't have that capacity to do that at the moment because of restrictions. But yeah, I think the concept is, how do we give the digital shopping experience some new life, so that if it was only like, if the situation was to happen again, like obviously we don't want that, but enabling that digital experience to be closer to what the physical experience can offer. I think this is one of those features that is definitely worth considering, and obviously Shopify help enable that out of the box. And yeah, that was I guess a bit of a snapshot about what Shopify Plus particularly does and what that means for the merchants. You get pretty much all the other standard features in the other first 3 tiers of Shopify, which are great. But yeah, definitely a system I recommend, and a system we've been using for the last few years for all of our merchants. So yeah, that's me. I'll pass it back to Nerissa.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Everyone give him like a virtual round of applause. Thank you. Before I'm going to give you to my next guest, if you just joined us, my name is Nerissa Chaux, and we're having such a great time. More giveaways, I promise you. So for a Shopify PayMaya powered card, get ready, guys. You're going to be really fast on this chat. Okay, the question is, Matt was talking about in his presentation, how many merchants are on Shopify? Go. Let's see, who's the first one? How many merchants on? Oh, Raymund, you're the winner. Go, Raymund. Woo! Clap, 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 clap. You win a PayMaya Shopify powered card. That's right. Oh, Raymond, isn't that you? You're from PayMaya? That's a bit cheating. You're cheating. No, okay. You cannot win this. All right, I want to randomly pick someone. Ready? I want to randomly pick someone. Let me scroll down. Louise, you've won. You're right. It's over 1 million plus. Good work, Louise. All right, so let me introduce you to our next fabulous speaker, Jackie, who is the Asia Strategic Partnerships Manager for Gorgias. Let's go, Jackie, and we're going to play a video first. Hey, Jackie.
Your e-commerce business is growing. Customers are contacting you on multiple channels. Your support agents are stressed and overwhelmed. They're taking too long to respond and making mistakes. You're losing sales. You could hire more support agents, or you could use Gorgias, the highest rated help desk for Shopify stores. Gorgias combines your email, chat, phone, and social media messages into one streamlined view, making it a breeze for your support team to manage and respond to customers. Gorgias is built into Shopify, so you can find tracking numbers, check delivery status, even edit a customer's order without leaving the app. Now, here's where the magic happens. You can set up automated responses to common questions like, "Where's my order?" Gorgias can answer simple questions like that, leaving your team to deal with more important inquiries and close more sales. Ultimately, Gorgias helps you cut response time, scale your support, and generate more sales by providing outstanding customer support. Sign up for a free trial today at gorgias.io.
Awesome. Hey guys, nice to meet you. My name is Jackie Yap, and I am the Strategic Partner Manager for Gorgias. I am going to get started. I'm actually looking for the slides right now, so give me a second to troubleshoot. I might need Nerissa to jump in here because I can't seem to find the slides. There we go. Awesome. Thanks so much, team. So my name is Jackie. I am leading the strategic partnerships, as I mentioned, for Gorgias, and just from the video alone, we are an all-in-one customer service platform with a really deep integration with Shopify. So we can essentially pull in all of your customer communication channels through us, and what we're trying to do is we're effectively trying to transform what is traditionally a cost center with support into a profit center. And today I'm going to be teaching you some tips and tricks on how to do that for your brand. But before that, I'd love to say, just here's a little bit of information about me. I actually had a little startup here before in the Philippines, and that's why I always find it really special to speak in front of a Filipino audience. It's really close to my heart because I'm actually half Filipino myself. And I actually dug up a photo of me when I was younger, a couple of years back, of me moving to the Philippines from Australia to start the startup. And I think you guys will agree with me, it's a really special photo. So this is me moving from Australia to the Philippines. But enough of that. We're actually just going to go straight into conversational commerce. And what is conversational commerce? So conversational commerce is a way for you to maximize all of your different customer communication channels, all of those different interactions with your consumers by Facebook, Instagram, email, and being able to push them back onto your website to really drive cross-sell and upsell opportunities. But before we go into that, I'd love to speak a little bit about the COVID-19 effect. So a couple of people mentioned it in the chat. I think it was Jan Hargreaves or Jan Hargreaves, that they initially, across our merchants, what we found is that there was a dip since the pandemic began because nobody wanted to purchase anything. And now, as we've settled into this new normal, sales have actually gone up. Comparatively as high as Black Friday, Cyber Monday levels. And with that, what's really interesting, there's been a total shift in terms of the content that is being produced for different brands and merchants. And so, as I mentioned, this new strategy is focusing on finding like your new product heroes, playing a bit of a nod, a tongue-in-cheek as to the current climate. So being a little funny of, here's a brand, Brava, that's using the hashtag Corona Diet, messaging their consumers directly, creating more at-home content as well to push self-care essentials, and bricks and mortar stores as well. As they've completely shut down across the world, there's been a shift to, of course, focusing on their online strategy. So what we've seen is that brick and mortar stores are actually retraining their retail staff to become customer support agents because they understand the importance of e-commerce, as it's their only channel right now to be able to connect and to push sales to their consumers. So today I'm going to teach you how to actually increase your conversion rate through one-on-one real-time interactions. So why is it important to be able to be accessible and to be able to be quick with your communication channels? So 61% of consumers actually message businesses regularly, and 69% of consumers say that being able to message a business and that business being accessible to them makes them feel all the more confident about making a purchasing decision. And what are consumers actually messaging about? So 83% want to learn more about a product or service, 75% want to get support, and 76% actually want to make that purchase. So in terms of what this means for pre-sale chat, so when somebody comes in and they inquire by email or by Facebook or by phone, and they want to learn more about your product, this is considered a pre-sale chat. And whatever we can convert is an actual sale, right? So what we found is that for businesses that are actually able to respond to their consumers within 10 minutes, this has actually increased their conversion rate by 28%. And again, it's all about being accessible to your consumers. So now we talk about the importance of brand tone. So one, you need to be accessible to your brand, but two, you need to have consistent brand tone across all of your communication channels and across your team, because your team is a representation of your brand. So whatever opportunity you can get, you need to be able to really emphasize your company's mission, your founder's story, understand who your target demographic is, really know your product and your product category, and be able to express this with every single interaction that you have with your consumer. So if you're a fun lifestyle brand, you're a fast fashion brand, if that means putting emojis and punctuations and having a more informal tone, that's completely okay. What I'm really trying to drive home here is that you need to be consistent, because that really delivers to the overall customer experience. So here we spoke about a little about how the important response time is and the importance of brand tone. So when we actually put those together, we can actually see tangible results as to what this actually means. Whoops, let me take a step back. So sorry, my slides are acting up. So if this is an actual merchant of ours. They've received 494 inquiries, and their sales agents or their customer support agents were able to convert 230 of these tickets within a conversion rate of 46%, and that equated to $22,000 in sales. And that really is because their first response time was under 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and their resolution time for that inquiry was 21 minutes. So again, being consistent with your brand tone and being able to be quick is really important to how customers perceive you and whether or not they want to purchase for you at that point and moving forward. So thinking about this on an omni-channel approach. You have so many different channels, your customers are streaming in, you're getting bogged down by inquiries. How do you become consistent with being able to answer all of these inquiries and while still delivering outstanding customer experience? And this is one thing I think that Filipinos do extremely well. They really deliver world-class experience. So you really want to make sure that you're able to be as timely as possible with providing these responses. So let's begin with email. I'm sure this slide is actually interestingly not working, but so interesting. Let's just move on to this slide. So I'm sure a lot of you get a lot of the same inquiries from your consumers of where's my order, how do I refund or exchange an item, or I'd like to learn more. If you're answering every single one of those inquiries and you haven't found a way to automate it, that is not the most efficient use of your time. You can actually automate up to 30% of your responses with the right tool. And that's one of the things that I really want to teach you today. So if you haven't thought about automating your responses so that you can focus on higher level strategy for your brand, this is something I really want you to look at after this. So if you can look here, this is actually something that you can do within Gorgias. We have machine learning within our platform. So anytime an inquiry comes in, regardless of the channel, so if somebody's asking you, where's your order from Facebook or from by email, if we can read the intention of the order here, where it says shipping status, where it says, if they're inquiring about shipping or status and an order has actually been fulfilled within a given time frame and it is in transit, what we can actually do is we can pull Shopify data points, and those are the ones here that you see in green, directly from Shopify with all of the customer information in blue, whilst inserting your brand tone, like, hey, thanks so much for inquiring about our shoes. We love that you're excited about it. So here's all of your tracking information. By the way, did you know you have X amount of loyalty points with us? And we've actually launched a new collection. So one, we're answering their inquiry as quick as possible. But second, we're actually giving them incentive to go back into your website to drive them back for that cross-sell and upsell opportunity. So if you're able to answer these tickets in an automated way as quick as possible, then this is a really great way to deliver that experience and consistent experience, while still being as timely as you can on an email channel. Live, so Messenger is also a really interesting one. This is a really great avenue as well to educate your customers on your different product specials, on what your brand tone and identity is. So here we have a brand called Wholesome Culture. They're extremely passionate about their cause, which is Save the Bees. So anytime that a customer inquiry actually comes in, they love to give a little bit more information about, hey, thanks so much for asking in. Yes, this is what we're really passionate about. Go back and here's some links that we'd love for you to take a look at, so that you can get to know our brand a little bit more, so that when you purchase with us, you can understand what you're actually contributing towards in terms of cause. Unfortunately, my slide isn't working here, so you can't actually see what that looks like, but we'll provide, I'm sure Nerissa will be able to provide slides after the webinar. So in terms of inquiries, what's really interesting is because you're getting bogged down with so many different channels at the moment, especially with Instagram posts or ads or Facebook posts and ads, I really would like for you guys to reflect on this. If you're actually able to answer every single comment that comes through, and if you're actually able to segment these leads. So you'll have friends tagging each other and say, hey, I love this top, and this is via Instagram, but are you actually going back and saying, we love that you love it, here's like a little promo code from us. If somebody comments on your ad and they're not happy with you because they can't reach you for some reason, are you actually hiding these negative comments? Because what that does is it affects overall future prospective customers, right? Their whole experience. So are you quick in terms of hiding those? In terms of social questions as well, when you have consumers opt in and they're asking, hey, is this product still available? Or I asked you via email, I haven't gotten a response. Are you segmenting that so that you're actually able to assign it to your correct team lead so that they can actually answer this? And this is where having the right tool is extremely important. So here on the top is an example of how our platform Gorgias would auto tag a response, whether it's positive or negative, dependent on the channel, as well as the sentiment or intent of that comment. And again, there are multiple tools all around that might be able to do this, but it's up to you to find the right one for you to your budget as well. So again, this is an example of being able to respond in line to an ad and really increase your return on ad spend. So here, friends are tagging each other. I really want to talk about how every single customer interaction that you have is an opportunity. So when friends are tagging each other, giving love or not, it's really important for you to be able to go back, answer every single comment, and to drive them back to your site. So here, whether you want to use this opportunity to actually slide into their DMs because you don't want everybody to have that same promo code, that's completely fine. The fact is you're answering them, they're going back into your ad, your brand is becoming top of mind again, and they're coming back and they're checking back on your actual brand, and they're able to use that promo code or share it with a friend. So again, it's really important to be accessible to your brand and to make your customers feel loved and heard. Text is also a really interesting channel that not a lot of people use because of the concern that it can be expensive or time consuming. There are two different types of SMS text styles rather. There's transactional text. So when someone comes in and they order and you say, hey, Jonathan, thanks so much for ordering. Your order will be shipped to you at X amount of time. PS, again, driving them back, here's loyalty. You've got X amount of loyalty points, got a new collection, check them out. Or we'd love to learn a little bit more about how you thought about our service. Text is a really great channel because you can get open rates of up to 90%. You have high click-through rates, and it's just a really great way to engage with your customers because everybody looks at their SMSs, or their texts rather, not necessarily their emails. So this is a great way for you to be on brand, to engage with them, to have that conversation. And again, it's important to be able to segment and manage all of these replies with the right tool. And again, using text as a channel, this is a great way for you to learn more about what your consumers' goals are, what actually brought them to your site in the first place, send them personal product recommendations, and then you can actually save that information for later if you have a special that is more customized towards their needs, and letting them know that you're really available for them. One of the last channels I want to talk about is live chat. There is definitely a fear about live chat being extremely time consuming and very hands-on, and that's why not a lot of brands would want to actually put to enable a live chat on their website because they have this notion where they actually need to be online all the time to answer their consumers, and this is not necessarily the case. Live chat is a really great way to still make you look really accessible and available for your consumers, whilst preempting any increase that they might have. So greeting them with a live chat that pops up as soon as they land on your page, asking like, hey, how did you get here? Trying to extract more information out of them. Pushing charitable causes so they get to know your brand more, including like time-based offers as well. And it's fun to like really work in your brand identity into this. So here you've got a little dog on a bike. If you've got like a puppy story, that's really fun. Use something that's really relevant to your brand that will really capture attention. You can take this one step further by creating chat campaigns that will be triggered on certain static pages when a customer lands. So when they're on a product page looking for shoes, you can actually trigger a chat. Once they've been sitting there for about like 20 seconds to a minute, that's completely up to you. And you can say, hey, I noticed that you're looking. Did you know that people who purchase these shoes usually buy a size up, right? So you're trading with them a little bit of information. You're essentially preempting any inquiry that they might have. You can have a little bit more information there that puts them into a decision tree or a flow. And you can actually redirect them to an FAQ if you want, or you can use that as an area to capture information like their email. So use an ejecting busting statement, use that as a main drive in terms of purchase, highlight reviews. Our customers say this is a 5 out of 5, and that looks really great, right? That's that social proof that's really specific to your brand, to about that product. And also drive like product specific discounts, like you're so close to the cart, here's another 20% so you can take everything home with you today. Again, this is not working, but use live chat as an avenue to really reinforce trust in your customer's purchase, drive upsell and close them, as well as delay a final offer. So if you want to trigger it closer to the cart, that's fine. If you want to launch it into an abandoned cart flow, you have that all available to you. So use these these channels as not just a customer support channel, but also another avenue for marketing. At the crux of it, we can do all of these amazing things, but there's really no point if we don't focus on data. It's really important to be able to track your team's performance from the very beginning. So understanding before you implement a tool, how are they performing beforehand? And as you work in a new tool in your tech stack, how is your team performing on a daily basis, a weekly basis? Who's doing extremely well on particular channels? What is the conversion rate of the chat? Have you used any discounts? Do you have any agents who perform particularly well so you know who to put on more high urgency queries, as well as always trying to optimize your first response time as well. So just by implementing like these quick fixes and really just looking ahead in terms of what sort of channels that you can slowly add to focus on, you can definitely expect a 30% efficiency in customer support. You will be able to see an improvement in your return on ad spend, and you'll be able to as well experience an increase in terms of conversion rate with your chat. So I just want you to take home today that every interaction with your customer is an opportunity, and to be able to take this a step further. So please segment all your inquiries, be able to grow and look at the right tools to add to your stack, whether that's customer support, that's loyalty or reviews, and basically collate and understand your data so that you can improve the performance of your team. Oh, and hey, Nerissa. And yep, so I'm from Gorgias, and we are the #1 help desk for e-commerce. We are the only certified Shopify Plus app for customer support. We work with 2,500 brands, including Steve Madden, Timbuktu, Antisocial Social Club now apparently. So you can use us for email, live chat, SMS, phone calls, reviews, Facebook Messenger. We are fully integrated with Shopify, and we have AI automated responses and machine learning within our platform. And we have an offer today for everyone who is on Shopify or Magento. You just need to click on the link later and apply, and you'll get up to 3 to 6 months of Gorgias for free. And that's it.
Wow, thank you so much. That was awesome. There's a question for you, Jackie, before you jump off. Let me reach over to it. Won't be a sec.
Okay.
Oh, and that's you. Yay! Yeah. What's the best way? Oh, hang on. Is that the question? What's the best way of collecting the data prior to any measures taken if all of them are taking place offline at the moment?
That's a really great question. I think I would need to have a better idea of what Bhavna means by taking place offline before I can answer. But Bhavna, if you want to talk later, like, I'm always available on LinkedIn or via email. I'm more than happy to just chat over a quick call, and I'll be able to help as much people as I can out. But yeah, it's difficult for me to answer without just a little bit more information. I'm sorry about that. And I think Jorlyn asked, is it possible to apply for Gorgias if I'm just starting out at Shopify? Definitely. Everybody is more than welcome to come in and check us out for a trial, and definitely look at us as a tool that will be with you to help you grow.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jackie. Give her a round of applause too. Thank you. Are we excited? We've nearly hit 180 attendees. So well done, Philippines. I'd also love to give a shout out to those that have joined us from other countries today. We've got people from Vietnam, India, Australia, and of course, Singapore. And most of you are from the gorgeous Philippines. Wouldn't we love just to be in Palawan right now, sipping a pina colada on the beach? I know I would be. So before I introduce you to our next speaker, and let me tell you, we've still got more giveaways. We've still got Q&A. So I'm going to do a giveaway right now, and this is a hard one, okay? There's 2 PayMaya Shopify powered cards up for grabs. But this is a question from Jackie's presentation. So you must have been listening. It's a bit hard. All right, ready? The question is, who can say what is the percentage of open rates for SMS? See if you can do it. What is the percentage rate when you send an SMS for open rates? Does anyone know? $33, $90. Okay, the first person that wins is Javier. I'm probably not pronouncing it properly. I do apologize, but you know who you are. The second person, it's 80%. Let's have a look. Come on, guys. Who else? I just gave you the answer, 80. I want another winner. Come on. Who have we got? Who have we got? Oh, everyone's so close. 80. You know what, Omkar, you are the next closest. You are at 83%. Good for you. You guys are the winners. Very well done. All right, let me introduce you to our next fabulous speaker who's rounding up for today is the gracious Raymund from PayMaya. Welcome, Raymund.
Hey, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to start the presentation right away, but I am Filipino. I am in the Philippines, so I am going to move my language a little bit both on English and also on Filipinos, just to be able to accommodate the Philippine crowd here. So, kumusta kayo, guys? I hope everyone's safe. I guess na sa loob lang tayo ng bahay, but really happy to be here. We'll be moving now the presentation as well. So my presentation is from business unusual to business as usual. I think that's the biggest thing that we're seeing. My examples for today will revolve around a very localized thing of what's happening in the Philippines. Hopefully I'm able to describe or give light towards what's happening here and how businesses are able to address it. So let me move forward. Who I am, actually in PayMaya, I've been here for 6 years. I moved back to the Philippines around 16 years ago. Before that, I was actually a digital marketer. I was straight up in digital marketing. I worked for Yahoo for a while, but I spent my time actually in the Gap. I was running their global digital marketing for e-commerce. So e-commerce is very close to my heart. And now that I'm in payments, I do see the need of payments coming in, especially in a country like Philippines. What you guys notice is that around 70% of the Philippines doesn't have an access to a bank account. So, coming into PayMaya, we saw that as really an opportunity to help the country out. And our real mission is actually to be able to give some financial inclusion. So quick description of who we are. I think this is important. One of the things that most people see is that PayMaya is actually a very known brand already in the Philippines. And it's because of the left side of this slide is that we have an e-wallet solution. What this does is that if you download the app and you create an account, you are already given a financial account within 5 minutes. To the far right is our most known brand around the Philippines. It's the Smart Padala Centers. Kita nyo yan, around 98% of the barangays all over the Philippines. And it really acts as kind of like this localized hubs. Within the presentation, or the next couple of slides, you're going to see how things are starting to localize or even hyper-localize. But I want to focus the energy on the middle. PayMaya actually has a merchant business wherein we power businesses, whether small or big, be able to accept payments. And I think that's the focus of this presentation today. So one of the things is that we are also proudly made by Filipinos. PayMaya, as you guys can see in the name there, Maya there is actually the Maya bird. We are looking at the Maya bird, being in every single island in the Philippines. That's the inspiration of our name. Our logo is actually the wings of the Maya bird as well. We are funded by PLDT, as well as KKR, Tencent, and IFC World Bank. So that's really just showing who we are. We are also regulated by the BSP. So one of the things there is that us fintechs really has a higher level of, compliance and security to make sure that we comply with the BSP and the central government, but also help the central government in being able to push the financial inclusion push in the Philippines. We are also powered by Visa, MasterCard, BankNet, WeChat Pay, Alipay, GrabPay, PayPal, and the rest of the names here. And you'll see why that's important in the next couple of slides. Here are the merchants. You guys probably seen this already. If you guys go around the Philippines, we power McDonald's, Jollibee, Army Navy, Grab, Philippine Airlines. These names, their payments are being powered by PayMaya in one way or another. So it just shows that we have been here for a while, and we're actually pretty good at being able to do e-commerce payments, which is the focus of the presentation today. So the next couple of slides will revolve around why digitize payments. And I think this is going to be a little bit more of a localized conversation of what's happening in the Philippines right now. So one of the things that we're seeing is that going contactless is now not just the secure way of being able to accept payments, but also the safest way. I'm going to talk about, having all channels for e-commerce to go live. I'm going to talk about a little bit on hyperlocal and the need to go online and to accept all forms of payments. So the big thing that what we're seeing is that most small businesses, I don't need to convince anyone here, is that you have to start going online. And just by being in this webinar, you're already thinking about it, or you're already in it, or you are an online only business. So I think this is an important aspect, is that every single business that we're seeing now and every merchant that we're talking to that used to just have a face-to-face business is going online. And I feel that Shopify is one of the easiest platforms to be able to create, but not just the easiest, but the most scalable as well. So with that trend though, what we're seeing is that e-commerce is no longer just drive everybody to one website. This is actually one of the key things that I wanted to drive home a little bit, is that e-commerce everywhere is the strategy. What does that mean? You have to be present in every single online channel, e-commerce channel out there. And this whole e-commerce phenomenon in the Philippines and emerging markets is a little bit mutated compared to what I experienced when I was in the US before. Yung nakikita ko dito is that, there's e-commerce happening with Viber texts, with SMS, with Facebook Messenger. And I feel that this whole thing, besides the fact that you need to be in Lazada and Shopee, is kind of becoming the norm. My recommendation and our recommendation, and I guess if we really love powering merchants, is that you have to be in every channel. And I think that's important to spell out even more, is that you have to be in all the channels, but you have to be able to manage your e-commerce quite efficiently as well. The next thing that we're seeing is that e-commerce is also evolving to something of what we call hyper-local. This hyper-local e-commerce is a phenomenon that we have seen before, but has completely blown up in the last couple of weeks. This, I only buy inside Mandaluyong, or I only buy inside Taguig, or I only buy inside Highway Hills. This barangay level e-commerce is fast becoming the norm. And I do want to stress that a little bit, because as you bring out your strategies, specifically into marketing, you have to be able to not just be able to power your e-commerce online, but also be able to do your hyper-local e-commerce as well, and be able to join these groups, be able to change your marketing to also fit Viber messages as well. And I think that's one of the things that we're seeing. I will show a case example later on of how they did it. The last one is secure payments. Contactless is primarily the safest, e-commerce payments, but also QR payments, and even contactless tap payments is going to be important as we get out of this COVID scenario. That just is part of how we do things in PayMaya because of all the tools that we made. And the last message is, in a very, very, I guess in this epidemic or pandemic of what's happening now, every customer is important. So being able to offer every form of payment, whether they wanted, they wanted cash on delivery, whether they wanted online checkout, whether they wanted QR payments, whether they wanted peer-to-peer, send money transfer, you have to be able to power all forms of payments. And I think that's what PayMaya stands is all the time, is that we're one of those platforms that is quite honestly one of the big pushes that is we power every single form of payment out there. It's everything from PayMaya, e-wallet, Visa, MasterCard, BankNet, JCB, face-to-face, and online. So one of the things that I saw is that this guy, his name is Jet, he is part of one of the associations that I'm in, and he just created a Shopify site possibly around the start of April, and it has blown up. He's gotten sales of around 10 million pesos already just by creating a Shopify website. One of the things that we saw is that the way he marketed himself is quite interesting. This is his slides, and I just grabbed it from him because I was just so amazed at what he was doing. It was just, everything was just about chat groups, pages, personal wall, messages, Instagram, Viber groups, and flyering. He didn't do any, he didn't do any boosting or anything like that, and he was able to drive sales already. Now that he's in this scenario, this is just a sample of his post, what that looks like. It just shows how different the world is right now, and just showing the hyper-local side of things. This is a sample of his ad. If you're coming from, I guess, an international background, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't take this ad, but it works in the Philippine setting, in the hyper-localized setting, in, I guess, the business as unusual scenario right now. These types of ads work because suddenly most people are ordering stuff online, and I think this is just samples of what I wanted to show. Using other people's kind of like, brands as well and featuring them is one of the key strategies that he has mentioned to me has succeeded. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to power your business. One of the key things that he asked me is like, I'm having a hard time managing our payments. So, he came to PayMaya, and we are going to power his payments. It actually went live yesterday, and that's why I asked him to be featured in my talk today. So the omni-channel business, I guess, in the Philippines and the rest of emerging markets, it's no longer just having a website and driving everything to website. And that's why I put a times 100 there. You need to be able to power all forms of online channels out there, whether it's Lazada, Shopee, your Facebook Messenger, somebody just messaging you on the side. And I've seen that before. I actually ordered my whiskey right here from Single Malt PH. These guys are running on Shopify. They're great people, so singlemalt.ph. And what I did was I didn't go to their website. I actually just spoke to somebody via Viber, and I ordered to them. Sent me the Shopify email confirmation, and I was like, oh, great. So that's what I mean by the new trends that we're seeing. And it is quite unique to the Philippines. Just because of all the training that I got in the US, I had to skip that a little bit and really bring it down to the localized market. So what are our solutions to help you guys out? One of the things that we're seeing is that you need to be able to accept all forms of payments. And what we're seeing right now is P2P payments is one of them. It acts very similarly if you set up your Shopify site for cash on delivery, wherein what you do is instead of doing cash on delivery or P2P payments, is that it's either a bank transfer or a send money transfer. PayMaya has around millions and millions and millions of users out there, so they already have that channel. But I advise everybody, or if you are a merchant, that you should accept all e-wallets out there. And one of the key things there is that every single e-wallet, there are several users of it. So you being able to power their payments or that payment through that P2P channel is also as important. So having all of them is actually the critical piece there. The next thing that we're seeing is that conversational commerce does get finished in email or SMS invoicing, and that's what we're seeing right now. That's exactly what happened with singlemalt.ph to me, is that they sent me an invoice and I paid. So that's one of the critical things. I'll show you what email invoicing looks like from a merchant point of view. It also helps you kind of get an understanding. So that video should play right now. This is the merchant point of view of this.
Hi there. This video will teach you how to issue an email invoice to your customers. If you already have your credentials for your PayMaya Manager account, you can then proceed to click the Invoice tab on the left-hand side of your screen. When the invoice page loads, click Create New Invoice. Input the details of the purchase service or product like the unit price and the item's description. Click on the calendar button on the right-hand side of your screen and set the transaction date and the invoice due date. Select your currency and complete your customer's details. When you're done, review the information sheet and click Send. An invoice will be sent to your customers via email. So let's recap how to email a payment invoice. First, you click on the Invoices tab. Then, you create a new invoice. Third, just fill up the required information. And finally, click Send. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your PayMaya partner.
Okay, so going back to the slides, that just shows the point of view of sending an invoice. This really helps kind of like, get your conversational commerce part of it, be able to address some of the needs that goes outside the website. And I think that's really critical to see is that not all payments in an emerging market goes through the same website. And I think it's important for you to have all the channels being powered. That doesn't mean to say that, having your payments inside your Shopify website go through the checkout process or the normal, payment gateway process, it is as important as well. From what we're seeing is that, I spoke to a couple of merchants the other day when, I was preparing for this keynote, is that they actually see around 50% of their purchases going straight to the website. And it's really critical to have your payment gateway experience as efficient as well. We are local to the Philippines, so we are priced a little bit more, favorable versus the PayPals of the world, etc. So we do have a plugin as well. The next video that I'm going to show really highlights what the customer's point of view is, not just for our checkout plugin, but also for the email invoice. So take it away.
Hi there, this is a walkthrough video on how to pay using PayMaya's online invoice. Customers will receive their invoice via email in this format. Once information is confirmed, customer must click the Pay Now button, after which they will be redirected to a payment page where they can view their order summary and choose between 3 payment options. Number 1, pay with PayMaya. Number 2, via credit or debit card. And number 3, with PayMaya QR. For Pay with PayMaya, log in your account details and you will be led to a page to validate your purchase. For credit and debit card payments, just fill in your credentials along with your card information and email address for your e-receipt. For PayMaya QR, simply log on to your PayMaya app on your mobile phone, tap on Scan QR to pay, and scan the QR code via your app. And you're done! You will receive an e-receipt via email as proof of your payment. So let's recap how to pay an online invoice. First, click Pay Now. Then you choose a payment option. Finally, you scan the PayMaya QR code or just click Pay Now. For any customer concerns, customers can call or email PayMaya's customer support.
So thank you for that. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay, great. So that is the experience of our payment gateway. If you see there, it's very localized to the Philippines. Not in the US, the scan QR to pay is actually, that didn't exist. But in the Philippines, the e-wallets is one of the strongest things because of what I mentioned earlier of the unbanked market. This gives the convenience of, somebody who doesn't want to put their credit card or doesn't have a credit card or a Visa or MasterCard to still be able to pay using an e-wallet solution. So the next couple of slides, I'm just gonna walk through how it is or how easy it is to set up your PayMaya plugin or your PayMaya checkout plugin on Shopify. The first one is you got to log into your Shopify store and actually install the PayMaya, checkout Shopify gateway. The next thing is you go to the settings tab of your Shopify, configure your PayMaya checkout by clicking edit. You then just put the keys. There's a public facing key and also your Shopify token, which will be given to you once you have a PayMaya merchant account. And then you save, and then the screen on your Shopify experience is already live. I know that was that was pretty quick, but the easiest way to get these details is just Google PayMaya Shopify checkout plugin, and the instructions are there. We have, I guess, both in our website and also our developers website, the instructions on how to do it. The good thing is we also have test accounts, so you can actually install it, or you can actually install the PayMaya checkout gateway already, even if it's just on test. And then once you get the keys coming or the tokens coming from PayMaya, you can then set it to go live. So that's how easy it is. If you have a Shopify website right now, I encourage you to set it up and then get an account from PayMaya, and then you'll get your tokens right away. So how else can we support you? Let me do just a quick recap. The takeaways of business and unusual, if you might call it that. The first one is I really have to stress this. We in PayMaya really believe that the future of the economy of the Philippines will really come from the small business, the medium-sized businesses, and even the big businesses, but really the micro, small, medium-sized businesses really powers the economy. And I feel that whole segment of going online is going to be this big maneuver and shift that could power all of us out of this predicament that we're in. So nasa atin lahat talaga to get it through, and moving online with the power of Shopify, with secure payments and being able to accept all forms of payments is the critical piece. The next one is merchant. If you're a merchant, you have to accept all forms of payments, whether it's Visa, MasterCard, PayMaya, bank transfer, the other e-wallets as well. That's something that's just critical. And I feel that that's really important for you to be there. And then once you're out of GCQ, contactless is going to be the way to pay. So having your stores have QR, having your stores have, contactless tap solutions for Visa and MasterCard is going to be critical to your business. So here's actually an expert tip. If you are starting out or you're creating a small business that you're thinking about, hey, do I create using, another platform or here's my recommendation. I've done this several times. I've spoken to a couple of friends who are doing really, really well with their e-commerce business. This is the starting formula. You get Shopify for your e-commerce platform. You get PayMaya for your payment gateway. And then you get Payo for your cash on delivery and your logistics aggregator. So what happens there is that you don't need to hire such a big team to jumpstart your e-commerce business right away. Just by having these three main building blocks, besides the fact that you need to build your own marketing and have to localize it and join every single Viber group and every single Facebook group to be able to promote your business, I think this should jumpstart you right away. This is just a tip for me, just because I believe in the industry so much. And this is probably the easiest way for you to get started. So how else can we support you? Here's kind of like, I guess our call to action. You will get a preferred onboarding experience and a comprehensive database of all webinars, literature, this deck that we have right now, and a whole lot of other tips, everything from all the learnings that we get from other merchants. We share it with our merchant base as well. One of the things as well is, some preferred pricing models that you will experience by signing up here. So for us, all you need to do is sign up to pbm.paymaya.com, and to power your e-wallet payments or the ability to accept e-wallet payments right now, just download PayMaya Negosyo on Google Play Store. The iOS side of it will go live, I think, in the next couple of weeks. PayMaya Negosyo goes live on Google as well on Monday. So this was just a sneak peek, and that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Raymund. That was amazing. I love that. And as you can see, there's lots and lots of questions for PayMaya team. So if you do have a question, please send it in the chat box for the PayMaya team to send their response to you. So thank you very much. So what we're going to go do now is launch straight into our questions at slido.com. So I'm going to bring all the presenters up. If you guys can have all your videos and everything ready to go, and let me link us in, everyone. Won't be a sec. Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. These are the questions that people are asking. So let's go for the first one. What is the best way to deliver international orders from the Philippines? What courier or delivery system is available? Who would like to answer that first?
So let me try to pick that up. Actually, delivery using international orders from the Philippines, it's the usual suspects, the FedExes of the world and all of those guys. I feel that there's around 3 or 4 really big logistics companies out there that can really help power your international deliveries. You have to talk to all of them. Unfortunately, right now, logistics is still one of the hardest industries in the Philippines. So what we always say is that, your e-commerce platform should be stable and scalable. Your payments platform should accept all forms of payments. So your logistics solution should also be all the logistics partners out there. You cannot just rely on one. I know it's a cop-out answer, but that's the reality of the emerging markets that we're in right now. You have to have an account in all of them just to be able to power it. There are some aggregators out there for local logistics, like Payo, as I had mentioned earlier, but I feel that for international, you just have to be able to tap them all. I think you're on mute.
Thank you. Yes, I was on mute, sorry. What areas need to be improved in the Philippines? Example, logistics, internet, payments, so we can meet the demands of the new normal economy, from Marcus.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick that up again since I'm the local guy here. To be honest with you, I think all of the above, right? The internet thing, there are great strides. PLDT, Smart, we're part of the telco group as well, is doing great strides. I think we're even, boosting the energy or boosting the bandwidth out there, especially for small businesses. Payments, I feel, is one of the critical pieces. That's why, fintechs like ourselves are flourishing right now. But if there's one of the 3 things that I feel that really is the big need, I think it's logistics. I think there's so many logistics partners that are popping up just because of how difficult it was. It used to be, even addresses that are hard to find. But I think that's just the nature of the improvements of what's happening right now. So for me, those 3, there's great strides. And I think right now, there's active conversations in the government. We were privy to some of them right now, that the new infrastructure of the Philippines really being, globally, I guess, competitive is being talked about, which is great, right? So it's everybody, all the business partners that can help power the next emerging economy in the Philippines. There's active conversations straight up from government to the private businesses to even the local governments powering through it.
Wonderful, perfect. And for all the speakers, sorry, lost it there. What are the attributes of Shopify that make it feasible to utilize in the Philippines? Matt, do you want to go first?
I think that's a great question. I think the attributes of Shopify that make it feasible in the Philippines is probably consistent across why it's feasible in other countries as well. So the idea it has for, like, in terms of its purpose of ease of use, ease of integration with what you require for commerce or e-commerce, like integrating like PayMaya and different like providers like that for shipping and whatnot is quite easy typically on Shopify to do, and adding apps it has a very I guess Apple App Store experience type of setup. So it's designed to be easy to get up and running with as little effort as possible, and I think that's definitely a benefit to anyone who wants to go online and sell products. But yeah, that's my take on it, at least.
Perfect. Anyone else want to add to that? No? Okay, cool. Let's go to the next question. Is there a local drop shipping in the Philippines? If yes, can you name them and how does it work?
Yeah, so I'll try to pick this up. Let me get back to you on this. I know that some of our partners really do have some expertise on this. So if you could just send me a private note after this, we'll be able to get you some information. If I don't, I'll look for somebody that would have this information.
Perfect. And actually, I can contribute to that because one of our previous sponsors that was approved by Shopify is Sapo Dropshipping, SAPO Dropshipping, and CJ Dropshipping. Both cater to the Philippines and both work very closely with Shopify, if that helps. All right. This one I can probably answer next. Is there a recorded version of the webinar? I certainly hope it's being recording, but yes. If things have gone well, it is recorded right now and I will email that to you. Forgive me in advance if it doesn't work. But yes, we'll try for that. So next question. Ooh, what is this? How to avoid return to seller? Great question. Who would love to answer that? Anyone?
That is one of the toughest things, right? Depends on your business model, it depends on how your business is structured. But generally, I think for me, cash on delivery has the highest return to seller. And I think businesses are familiar, cash on delivery is still one of the popular ways of payments, at least for e-commerce in the Philippines. And limiting, I guess, getting the payments before the delivery is actually fast becoming more popular for merchants just because of the return to seller costs and also the cash on delivery costs. So for me, the best way to avoid return to seller, increasing or creeping up to 70% is, you better have really good products that people need. But also I think it's more of like being able to accept payments to make sure that they really want that product.
Yes, excellent. And I feel like the next question is again for you, Raymund. Majority of the Shopify users in the Philippines use COD as mode of payment. Is there any program that Shopify is doing to move to cashless payment? And Matt, you could probably answer a lot on this as well.
Yeah, so I'll pick it up first and then I'll leave it to Matt. COD as a mode of payment is actually still very popular. And I can't deny that that's just because of how the Philippines and 400 plus years of paying cash has happened. But we are seeing a lot of people migrating into cashless. And I'm not going to say that, it's now cashless first and then, COD second. But the strides of just what happened in the past 3 months is happening. So best advice is that all merchants start accepting it, and the deals that you do for cash and delivery versus cashless payments or, kind of like Visa, MasterCard and PayMaya payments and all the other e-wallets as well. I think that should encourage people to go into the cashless and the contactless transactions there.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think just to quickly comment, I guess, I think that's a really good point is how can we incentivize the cashless purchase from the merchant side? I think that's a really good idea. The other problem, I guess, is the credit card penetration in the Philippines is obviously quite low, and that's just traditionally how it's been. So I think from a governmental perspective, they need to potentially think of ways to promote the cashless economy as well, and make that more accessible and more. It's a very big cultural shift, obviously, but I think as there's a growing middle class in the economy, I think that's going to naturally move towards that direction anyway. But Shopify themselves, I guess they will help to do what they can from their part, but they haven't really announced much yet about that.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And Jackie, we've got a question for you. Can Gorgias get the products from Shopify, use them to send invoices to customers of their product orders on Messenger?
That's a really great question, and that's actually something that we're building out and launching in the next few weeks. So right now we can issue invoices, but for previous orders, and we can also issue refunds and cancellations and partial orders as well. And so it is something you could do. I wouldn't necessarily recommend being able to issue an invoice by Messenger, though. Email is always is always a better mode of communication with your customers. But yeah, that should be launched in the next few weeks.
Perfect. All right, cool. We have time for one last question, so I have been scrolling. Does any of the speakers want to nominate one, or should I nominate it?
Happy for you to pick.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's so hard. Everyone's got so many fabulous, questions. All right. Maybe, I don't even know what this is, so that's why I'm going to ask it. Can we link a Teespring account to Shopify?
Teespring. Interesting.
Am I the only one that doesn't know what that is?
Let me pull this up using Google.
It looks like it's a platform, an e-commerce platform of its own. Like if you had well, I can answer that in two ways. You could potentially migrate from Teespring to Shopify if you want to do something like that. But Shopify actually is designed to also be used as a headless platform, so you can bring whatever front end you're currently using and potentially hook into Shopify purely for the e-commerce side of things. So there's definitely an opportunity to do something like that if it makes sense for the strategy that you're trying to do, or if you've invested a lot in your existing platform from a front end content management perspective. But yeah, so there's options there.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you to you guys, amazing speakers, and answering these questions so honestly. We're going to have some competitions. We've got a massive one from Gorgias before we finish up today. So let's do this. Let's get these questions ready. And I think I've tried to make it really easy. For one PayMaya umbrella. Now, Raymond, do you have an umbrella handy by any chance? Oh, your audio's off.
Yeah, so unfortunately I had to move to another place. I forgot my umbrella just because it's so hot in the Philippines right now. It's ridiculous.
No
I just
worries.
left it,
Okay,
but it is
guys,
a very, very cute umbrella. You guys know our mascot. This is Maya. So it's the umbrella that looks like Maya. So you can just imagine what that cuteness would look like.
I really want that umbrella. I love the umbrella. So this is the question for everyone, and I'm going to randomly pick a winner in the chat room. Which country holds the world's largest Shopify meetup group? This should be so easy. Have we had anyone come through? I don't think anyone. Oh, here we go. All right, random. Do I close my eyes and just randomly pick? All right. I see a Cinderella somewhere. Cinderella said Philippines. Ella, I'm just going to call you Ella now. Ella, you have won the PayMaya umbrella. I really want to steal it from you. It's seriously amazing. Well done. Okay, and for the final prize, and Jackie gets to choose the winner. This is massive, guys. Let me, would you like to read out the offer, Jackie? Shall I give it to you to do the honors?
Sure. So we're giving away a 2,000 peso gift card for the Shopify store of your choice. And we're also giving away 2 months of free access to Gorgias. And I'd love to personally give the demo as well to whoever wins.
Woohoo! Mate, Jackie's feeling it. She's ready to go hard. Good on you, Jackie. Thank you. All right, so the big question is, and this is a hard one. You must have been paying attention to Jackie's presentation. What is one of the brands that uses Gorgias? It was in her presentation. And I hope, Jackie, you know the answer.
You guys can do it really quickly.
All right, let's see who wins.
Oh, nice. Really fast.
Oh, wow. We're getting a lot of responses.
Oh, Vicente, really, wow. These are yeah, people are paying attention.
I'm loving it.
No, we don't have New York Times yet. I love how some people are just throwing out brands that we don't service yet, but they're on the cards.
I love it, Jackie. You're giving everyone a fair shot.
Oh, I don't know who to choose. I want everyone to win. Shoot. Do I have to choose?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it's your offer. You have to choose.
Okay. Let's be fair, and let's go with the first person who got it right. And I think that was. Let me just check. I can't scroll down anymore. I have no idea. Okay.
You ready?
I actually can't go any further. I actually don't know who was the first person. Can you?
Oh, you want the first person to pick the right brand?
Yeah. I think that's the fairest way to do it.
Now you're hoping that I listen to your presentation. For me to know. There's so many. Oh my God, there's like 100 responses.
No pressure, Jackie.
Yeah, I can't even see if my team, like it's just scrolling down and down and down.
I don't know.
Can you see who it is, Efren? Who is it? So we've got everyone hands on deck trying to scroll and get this.
And people are still replying.
Oh my God, it's killing me. It's like the conversation is killing me. Sorry guys, it's so long to scroll down. I feel like we should just pick someone.
I think the random pick's a good choice.
Okay, is Timbuktu a client of yours?
Yes.
John Derek Benito. You've won. John Derek Benito. Woohoo! So you're the first guy that's come up. Congratulations. Woo! Well, thank you so much, everyone. We've loved having you on board. Thank you for joining us virtually. I can't wait to be back in the Philippines and actually do it in person. Thank you to our fantastic speakers, Matt, Raymond, Jackie. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Have a
See
great
you,
weekend, guys.